Grabe naman yung introduction. Ako ba yun? Comedy pala, no? Good evening, everyone. Siyan, wait lang prepare ko lang yung ano. Mukhang maraming nagbakasyon nasa swimming na ata yung iba. Yan. Alright, yan. Okay, good evening everyone again. So today we will talk about messy business stay small, or should I say disorder creates stress. Okay. So napakaganda ng topic ngayon kasi very timely, di ba? Kasi ngayon, most of entrepreneur struggle with the crisis. And I heard a lot na mas grabe pa daw yung crisis ngayon compared sa pandemic. Sinong agree? Sinong nararamdaman? So most of us affected talaga, 'di ba? Lalo tayong mga SMEs and nasa mid-level ng life. So very helpful tong topic na to. And as I prepare this topic, sobrang nakaka-relate ako kasi it reminds me of our companies, how we structured it and scale it. So I hope that this topic could help you. And may God bless us with wisdom to understand and how to apply it with our business. Okay. So the title of this talk is Messy Business Stay Small. So it's another April series. So yung April series natin titled Organize Your Business. So this is the week 1 and ito yung topic natin. So yeah, so many entrepreneurs think their business struggles because of lack of capital. Sino yun? Marami akong kilala na ayaw nila mag-business because wala silang capital. And marami rin akong kilala na hindi sila nakakapag-scale because wala silang capital. And akala nila, yun yung pinaka-main problem nila, laging capital. Pero, di ba, yung iba naman, inisip nila because kulang yung customer nila or lack of customers. And yung karamihan naman, sinasabi rin na lack yung opportunity nila or wala pa yung opportunity sa kanila. Pero, 'di ba? Ang real problem talaga is sobrang simple lang. Ano 'yon? So the real problem is yung disorganization. Ibig sabihin yung structure ng negosyo, 'di ba? So we oftentimes think of yung mga factor kanina sinabi ko, yun yung pinaka problema. Pero as we do business and do practice, the more that you organize your business, the more that makikita nyo na mas sustainable siya and mas stable yung structure. So we'll learn from that moving forward sa topic na ito. Okay. May clicker pala ako. Makakagamit na ang clicker. Wow. So before we start, I have, let me ask you some question. Okay, so have you ever felt this in business? So nakaka-relate kayo for sure. So everything feels busy. 'Di ba? So akala nyo yung busy kayo pero wala namang customer, wala namang kliyente, pero parang ang dami-dami yung ginagawa. 'Di ba? Pangalawang point, many tasks but little progress. Paulit-ulit, ang daming ginagawa pero ba't unti yung natatapos? 'Di ba? Pangatlo, stop keep asking question. Sir, ano po yung sunod? Saan ko po to ilalagay? Yung parang hinire mo pa siya pero ikaw din yung gagawa at mag-iisip. May kwento ako dito. Yung wife ko, hindi siya, nag-hire siya kapag yung employee namin, okay lang ma'am, shiner ko. Hindi na nagtanong ngayon. Yung employee namin, kapag may problema at nag-email siya ng walang solusyon, yari siya sa boss namin, yung asawa ko. So ganun yung system namin sa company. So, reason ba't namin sila ni-hire kasi may purpose yung position nila. And dapat sila yung nag-iisip kasi sila yung either department head or sila yung nasa operation. So, dapat meron silang way of thinking that kapag may problema, ano yung possible solutions? Diba? Kasi kaya nga sila nandun. So, that's part of having a system. Then, fourth one is customer complaint about mistakes. 'Di ba? Yung mga mistakes paulit-ulit na lang pero wala pa rin, 'di ba? Wala pa ring solusyon. Then last is you feel stress every day. 'Di ba? sa lahat ng aspeto ng business, finance, marketing, employees, pinaka-source of stress talaga. So, why does this happen? Diba? Yung mga factor na yan. So, yung real problem talaga, many businesses do not fail because of lack of opportunity. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. Hindi talaga dahil lack of customer kasi napakalaki ng market. Then, hindi rin lack of good products kasi ang daming way to improve your products eh. And if you understand the problem, half of the solution, you get it already. Tapos i-innovate mo na lang siya. So often the real problem is lack of organization. Diba? So, when a business is disorganized, communication breaks. Kapag walang system, kaya hindi natatapos ang isang process because napuputol na yung communication. Hindi na nakakarating sa ibang department or in-endorse kay ganito. Tas because walang system ng pag-endorse, iba na yung pagpasa dun sa ibang department or other employee. So yung output, different. So yung expectation ng may-ari or yung goal ng business, hindi na-achieve. Diba? Another one is, tasks are often forgotten. Nakakalimutan. Sa sobrang dami, dahil walang sistema, ang daming task, yung ibang importante, dahil may mga biglang urgent, hindi na natatapos. Tama? So yung mga priority, yun yung nakakaligtaan because may immediate na concerns. Right? So, third one, money is mismanaged. Ito, kapag walang system, walang percentage kung ano iaalat sa marketing, walang percentage kung magkano yung sahod ng owner, yung money, sabi nga ni Kel, yung money ng business and money mo, it's different. Diba? So, if na-mismanage natin yan, diba? Disorganized na yon. Then, fourth one is customers become frustrated. Kasi, kunyari, across branches or ba't mas maganda yung service doon sa kabila? Branch nyo rin naman yun. Mas feeling ko mas royalty ako doon or mas importante. Pero dito, bakit ganun? Parang yung nyo dito, yung stop nyo dito, attitude. Attitude. Yan, so, inconsistent. Kasi wala kang sistema. And last one, stop become confused. Yan. So, marami akong dito, lalo kapag mag-asawa yung may-ari. Yung utos ng isang boss, ng lalaki, ganto. Yung utos ng babae, ganto. Walang system. Walang tasking. So, confused si employee, sino susundin ko? Diba? Pares ko yung boss. Diba? Kasi walang system. So, yung result nun, yung stress, nag-i-increase, and growth slows down. Kapag magulo, we're not capable of scaling the business. Tama? Kasi hindi natin siya naduduplicate kasi wala siyang sistema. So yung key business truth natin dito is, a messy business can survive small, but it cannot scale big. Tama? Kapag maliit ka, makakasurvive tayo. Pero what if malaki ka na? Diba? Do you think yung messy na organization mo could scale big? Siguro few weeks, few months. Pero hindi yun sustainable. One day, it will break. It will fall down. It will become bankrupt. Tapos ulitin mo ulit yun. So, we should fix that. Okay, so because growth multiplies, chaos if system are missing. So, kapag walang system, yung chaos or yung stress, mag-i-increase din siya. Diba? So, kapag stressful pa yung business ang sobra at chaotic, hindi dapat siya ina-expand or gino-grow. Dapat inaayos mo na yung system or yung organization. Okay. So, kingdom foundation. So, God values order. So, sabi sa Corinthians 14:33, for God is not a God of disorder, but peace. Alright? So, yung context ng 1 Corinthians 14, so Paul was teaching the church that worship should not be chaotic. Dapat in harmony siya. So, second, ministry must be structured. So, dapat may structure, may flow. Then, third one, everyone should speak in order. Diba? Kaya nga may mga position, may hierarchy, may mga roles. Tama? So, because chaos that does not produce clarity, order produce edification or harmony. Kapag may order, harmonious yung business. or yung church, 'di ba? So kasi alam natin kung sino yung role niya to, ano yung system dito. So it should work nang may harmony at maayos. So sabi dito, if God is a God of order, then the businesses of His children should also reflect order. So kung naniniwala kayo na anak kayo ng Diyos at we claim that, and God is God of order, we must, diba, promise to the Lord that we will fix our systems and our businesses because we are steward of God's blessing. Diba? At the end of the day, we will offer to the Lord yung in-entrust niya sa atin. Diba? So, gaya ng laging pinag-usapan natin dito sa business talk, na yung parable of the talent. Diba? Whatever it is God entrusts you, even if it's little or not, we are liable and we should be a good steward of returning it to God, offering it to God, but abundantly. Kasi God equipped you already with wisdom and all the resources that you need, even if may crisis man o wala. Diba? So it's already in you, within you. And God is able to do that. And money can grow a business, but structure sustains it. Diba? So hindi capital talaga yung problema. Kasi kapag yung organization mo disorganized or magulo, kahit lagyan mo ng money yon, tatagas at tatagas yon. Kasi maayos yung basket mo. Diba? So kapag di mo inaayos, you cannot be in the next level. Okay? So I'll be sharing to you guys 5 principles na related sa Bible, and we will learn from these principles. Okay, so first principle is, wait lang, ang bilis ko ata magturo. Okay. So first principle is chaos destroys momentum. Okay, so disorganized business waste energy. Okay, so people spend more time fixing mistakes, clarifying instructions, correcting problems instead of building progress. Okay, so yung chaos destroys momentum, 'di ba? Kapag chaotic talaga, nasisira. Dapat nag-expand ka na, pero paulit-ulit mong sinasagot or sinusolusyonan yung isang problema sa negosyo. Tapos, dahil wala ka pang sistema doon, mamimit mo siya ulit. Tapos ganun ulit. 'Di ba? Nakakapagod yung ganun. Okay? So, what we can learn from Proverbs 24:27, put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house. So, Solomon teaches us this. So, work should have proper sequence. So, ibig sabihin nun, work should have proper sequence. May pagkasunod-sunod. May proseso. Hindi pwede na wala pang plano yung isang bahay or wala pang design si architect, naglagay ka na ng pader. Wala pang poste. 'Di ba? So, in every output, dapat merong process. Okay, so it starts with idea, then finalizing it, testing it, then you turn out the idea, then it's always a process, 'di ba? So, prepare first, we need to prepare first, like architect, 'di ba? They draw, they assume ano yung design, mga gagamitin na tools, 'di ba? So, bago nila 'yon i-build, 'di ba? So, without planning, result become messy. 'Di ba? So, dapat pinaplano. May kwento ako dito. In fact, nandito yung dalawang tao na involved dun sa kwento. So, I just happened to have an opportunity putting up a branch in Cainta, Rizal. Tapos, during that time, we're building the branch in Antipolo. Tapos, dahil aggressive ako noon during that time, di pa ako parang yung character ko noon, when there's a business opportunity, talon, parang gano'n, aggressive. Hindi nag-iisip, hindi nagpi-feasibility study, puro gut feel. So pag feeling ko, ay G to, G, gano'n. Tapos kapag magaling yung nag-explain sa akin, or partner ko, no, makakain niya ako. So at the end of the day, parang magsasubmit ako sa kanya. Nang hindi ko iniisip ano yung risk noon. So it happened na gano'n yung nangyari. So sabi nung ni Yeng, yung during that time accounting namin siya, tapos yung wife ko, hindi ba masyadong mabilis tayo? Hindi pa nga nag-open tong isang branch na pinapagawa natin. gusto mo, isabay natin yung branch na yon. Pero dahil makulit ako, hindi, kaya yan. G. So nangyari? Nalugi. Nalugi yung business na yon. Tapos sinasabi sa akin na ng dalawa, especially my wife, di ba sinabi ko na sa'yo? Hindi ka kasi nakikinig eh. So it's a horror story. Why? Because there are people see the data and what's coming. But because of impulsive ako at hindi ako nagpaplano at maraming bagay na hindi ko kinoconsider, that branch failed. So we operated for 1 year, lugi siya. Tapos abonado pa kami. So it's so stressful, and in fact, ano siya eh, yung mental health mo parang nakatulala na lang, tapos umiiyak ako. Tapos, Lord, anong gagawin ko? Parang ganun. Pero kasalanan ko yun. So I man up and face the challenge and move forward. And praise God, na-overcome naman namin yun. And we discover something. So after the challenges, we're able to, parang yung risk appetite namin, kinakalculate na namin. Diba? Para hindi na kami dumating sa failure na gano'n. So I really learned in a hard way. And I will not advise it with you guys. So before you jump into an opportunity, make sure that you consider every aspect of it, from financials, the timeline, who are the people you will work with, diba? And who you will partner with. And also consider what are the people around you, especially the one who cares for you. What are they advising you? Okay. So that's very important kasi it's a blessing that God provided people around you to make you safe and ma-lessen yung risk. Right? So, so ito yung example. So, a growing coffee brand, kunyari, Palpitate Coffee. So, branches send orders for supplies through, kunyari, Messenger, Viber, personal message, random phone calls. So, parang ang dami niyang avenue to order supplies, let's say. 'Di ba? So, parang wala siyang isang app lang, kunwari, or process ng ordering. So, but there is no clear ordering system. So, no standard ordered form, no fixed ordering schedule, no centralized tracking. So, ano yung result nun? So, kapag walang order, walang process, so because there's no system, some branch order are missed. So, may mga tendency na may mga makakalimutan doon kasi nga magulo yung ordering process. Pangalawa, wrong quantities are delivered. Diba? Pangatlo, staff become confused. Then, franchises follow up repeatedly kasi wala ang sistema. So, the team says, ang dami nating ginagawa. But the real problem is not workload. So, the real problem is disorganized operations. Diba? So, kailangan natin streamline yung process. So, on our case, we have this parang website where doon na nag-add to cart yung mga yung mga franchises namin. Tapos nandun na lahat. Parang makikita nila lahat ng product doon, ilan yung quantity noon. Tapos add to cart na lang nila yon. Tapos kapag na-check out na nila yon, mag-a-appear na yun sa system namin. Diba? So with that, lesser na. So malalaman na nila which one is available and not because nasa system na siya. So easy yon. Wala nang masyadong usap kasi may process. Okay? Pero before, magulo rin yung sistema namin. Pero because we put up system on this, faster, mas efficient, mas happy yung customer and client. Okay? There's no delay. So, second principle is growth demand structure. So, what works for a small operation will break in a bigger one. Diba? Agree ba kayo dito? Kung isa pa lang yung branch nyo, feeling nyo ba yung sistema nyo dun sa isang branch, kaya yon i-survive yung 10, 20, 50, or 100 branches? Diba hindi? So, kapag 3 employees, kaya pa yan ng utak-utak lang. Tama? Yung araw-araw mo silang ima-manage or i-command. Kasi 3 lang naman yun. Pero what if you have 30 employees? That required system. Siyempre, hindi mo na makakausap araw-araw yung 30. Diba? So, in our case, parang ang mga kausap na lang namin yung mga leaders. Tapos, they are the one who will talk doon sa subordinates nila. Tapos, once in a while na lang namin sila mini-meeting lahat. Okay? Before kasi, lahat kausap pa namin. And yung mga unnecessary na drama or mga di na namin concern, kami pa yung sumasalo. So it added stress. Diba? So yun yung mga downside kapag direct ka pa sa employee or walang order or walang system. So imagine yung mga, I have classmate, they have 25,000 employees. Diba? Sabi ko, tas isa lang siya. Pero marami silang marami silang team. Pero how can one person create a system to oversee 25,000 employees? 'Di ba? Sobrang amazing nun. Sabi ko, grabe, wala akong na-meet na ganun kadami employees. Siya ang lala. Kinukompute ko na yung numbers, magkano pa sahod nila in a month. 'Di ba? Billion, 25,000. Kahit sabi mo minimum lang, 'di ba? Pero it's amazing na how can one person create a system for 25,000 employees? Pero it's a team effort, 'di ba? Pero if she could do that, we could do that also. But we must practice it. So if yung 3 employee, magkalawan natin ng sistema, how could we repeat it if 39 employees natin and to 100? Diba? So biblical principle, Exodus 18:21 says, "But select capable men from all the people and appoint them as official." So even the Bible says that we must select capable men. The same thing with our business. Diba? Kasi if it should be win-win eh. Diba? This is one problem that parang business owners face. Kapag wala silang sistema on hiring people. Sometimes, yung mga bakante, yun lang kinukuha nila, basta may nag-apply, dahil kulang kami ng employee, G na yan. Hire na. And I have one mentor, na billionaire says, he don't hire people that is available. What do you mean by that? Diba? Ibig sabihin, hindi daw siya nag-hire ng tao na bakante. Bakit? Kasi hindi daw magaling yon. Ay, paano mo nalaman hindi magaling yon? Kasi kapag magaling ka, busy ka. Di ka bakante. Busy ka sa malalaking kumpanya because capable ka eh. Tingin mo, papakawalan ka ng kumpanya if magaling ka. Di ba hindi? Aalagaan ka nila, ite-treasure ka nila. So, yun yung niya. Sabi ko, paano ko mag-hire kung yung tao na yon nasa ibang kumpanya pa? Ipapirate daw. Hindi, may tawag doon eh. Parang nag-hunt sila. Kasi tama naman. Kasi yung business, hindi naman siya paglalaro. And every move have cost of money. So you must think of acquiring or hiring capable people. That's how this verse telling us. Okay. So Jethro saw Moses doing everything himself. So he told Moses, you cannot handle everything alone. So the solution is, we must create leadership structure. So sabi ko sa wife ko, even yung mga low positions in the company should have leadership role. Kasi nakakapagod na parang dipalo yung employee or yung staff. Yung kapag wala ka dun sa company, wala sila rin ginagawa. Pero pag nandun ka, ang sisipag nila. Parang ganon. May mga ganon ba kayo employee? Ganon. Pero kapag may leadership kasi na character yung isang tao, ito tip to, kailangan kahit na lower role siya, dapat you must require them to have leadership role. Kasi yung leaders, ayaw nila na parang hindi maayos. Ito yung may mga initiatives. Tas gusto lagi mag-communicate, gusto maayos yung output, 'di ba? So parang may winner mindset sila kapag leader siya. Syempre called to lead siya. So yun yung dapat na standard natin when it comes to getting people. So business lesson, so where everything depends on one person. Kunyari, sa'yo lang nakadepende yung organization mo. Decisions slow down. Ako dito sakit ko to eh. Kasi yung mga department ko, marketing, sales, expansion. So parang gusto ko ako nag-iisip, personalize, pero mali yun. Bakit? Kasi ang bagal. Kapag tulog pa ako sa umaga, inaantay nila approval ko, wala silang tatrabahuhin. 'Di ba? So dapat, meron siyang leadership structure. So employees wait, ito yung sinasabi ko, and progress stops. Unlike yung sa department ng wife ko, sobrang ayos. Kahit nasa bahay lang siya, umaantar yung buong kampanya kasi nga, may or ano na siya, system. So siya, lagi niya akong kinukulit na, pagka wala pang sistema yung isang department or process, kailangan gagawa namin yung sistema. Tapos ipuput namin yun into paper. Tapos ina-update namin yung mga SOP and manuals namin. Okay? So growth requires delegation. So ang problem kasi ng iba, akala nila sila yung best to do that. 'Di ba? May mga ganun tayo pag owner mindset. We think of once we do something, yun yung best. And natatakot tayong ipasa yun. We don't delegate it. Bakit? Kasi baka matone down yung output or parang hindi siya singganda or singgaling ng pagkagawa mo. But the problem with that is babagal ka kasi ikaw lang lagi gumagawa. Tama? Then, yung growth requires structure. Kapag wala kang structure, from point A to point B to point C, point D, di ba? Babagal. Babagal yung growth natin. And, kailangan may clear roles. Di ba? So before, lagi kaming nagtatalo ng asawa ko kasi wala pa kaming clear roles. Pero ngayon, we are heading some departments. Kunyari, most of the technical sa kanya, kunyari yung ano ba yung mga department yun? Commissary, finance, accounting, so HR, tapos yung lawyer, basta gano'n, anything technical na hindi ko alam, sa kanya yon. Anything na creative side, kunyari, marketing, sales, expansion, pagkakausap ng mga kliyente, sa akin yon. So kapag may naisip kaming best system, pero department niya yon, siya yung final say. Kasi role niya yon. Kapag dun sa department ko naman, kahit may suggestion siya, it's up to me kung consider ko yon. Pero ako yung final say. So ganoon din sa mga tao namin. So regardless of the process, ang masusunod pa rin doon kung sino yung head. Diba? So dapat may mga clear roles. Diba? Importante to. Para yung communication napapasa ng maayos kada department. Okay. So, third principle. Yan, system create peace, order removes stress, and chaos multiplies pressure. Diba? So, if meron tayong order, pagkakasunod-sunod at tamang proseso, di ka ba, siyempre yung stress nun, bababa na. Bakit? Kasi alam ng mga tao anong gagawin nila. Hindi nila kailangan ng decision from you because na-anticipate na yon, tas may sistema, nasa book na, 'di ba? Para at least kung magkagulo-gulo man, meron kayong babalikan kasi may sistema na kayong naka-print. And yun yung parang blueprint nyo sa business. So I suggest that you must create systems. And yung system hindi lang siya verbal. You should parang track it down and put it into paper. So yung wife ko sa company namin, hindi pwede na hindi dumaan sa email lahat. So even if you talk it out with verbal, para mabilis, kailangan meron siyang email thread. Para alam namin yung loopholes. Babalikan ko nga, if magkaroon ng problema, itatrack namin saan nagkaroon ng bottleneck or saan nagkulang. Kaninong department? Sino yung last email? Saan nagkamali? Ganon. Kasi kung wala kang babalikan, babalik ulit sa simula, tama. Na dapat 30% na lang yung ayusin mo eh. Pero dahil na-lose ka ng tracking, wala kang data, uulit ka ulit. So yung reason but other businesses don't grow because yung problema nila 5 years, 2 years ago or 1 year ago, wala pa rin silang sistema doon. Kaya kapag kaharap nila yung problema nila na yun na ulit, parang question mark na naman. Diba? So yun yung problem na dapat na solusyonan na yun para next problem ka naman. Para if ma-meet mo ulit yun moving forward yung problem na yun, dahil may sistema na siya, madali mo na siyang malalampasan. Tama? So, Bible principle. So sabi sa Proverbs 27:23, be sure you know the conditions of your flocks. Diba? So owner must know the condition of, ito yung mga very important na dapat alam natin. Condition ng finances natin. Kamusta tayo ngayon? Having the crisis. Do we still have cash? Meron pa ba tayong pambili ng purchases? Meron pa ba tayong pang-reinvest or pang-expand? Meron pa ba tayong pang-marketing? 'Di ba? Meron pa ba tayong mga hindi nasisingil na kliyente? 'Di ba? Ano yung mga dapat nating i-delay na pagkagastusan? 'Di ba? So it's very important na as the crisis, parang we're suffering the crisis, it's very important na kung walang kliyente ngayon, or for sure God will give you clients. But if hindi ito same ng peak mo, this is the perfect time for you na silipin yung organization mo. Kasi it's a blessing in disguise also yung crisis that we have time to fix the system that we have. Baka the system in place are broken. Kasi for sure there will be parang matatapos yung crisis for sure. Pero after the crisis, ano yung na-improve mo? Either sa organization mo or skills that you have that you improve. So that if there's second wave of opportunity, are you ready? Or even better, 'di ba? So dapat naayos natin 'yon. Kasi we have so much time right now. Instead of worrying, what if we spend our time fixing those broken system and processes or fix our organization, 'di ba? So next yung inventory natin, we must know ano yung conditions ng inventory natin. Given na ganito yung stocks natin, ilang buwan pa tayo magsusurvive? Kasi magtataas na yung mga supplies. Tama? Then, yung operations natin, mamaya yung size ng tao natin, yung size ng natin pang 10 million, let's say, na sales, yung size ng organization natin. Pero ngayon, dahil crisis, ang kinikita na lang natin, let's say 2 million, ganon. Pero pang 10 million pa yung So, kailangan i-angkop natin yon. Kasi if hindi natin na-downsize, kung nag-down yung sales natin or yung income natin, tapos yung organizations natin, malaki pa rin. Silipin natin yon. Kasi mamaya, may mga hindi na relevant position na nandun siya, pero wala na siyang ginagawa or tinatrabaho. 'Di ba? So, kailangan natin i-check yung operations natin if given the crisis, yung duties nila, mamaya 10 pa rin naka-duty tapos yung customer ilan na lang. Mas marami pa yung naka-duty sa store or sa shop tapos sa customer, no? So, we need to check that. Then, staff performance. Ito. So, yun yung nakakalungkot kasi given the crisis, anong gagawin nila kung walang customer? 'Di ba? So, sometimes hindi nila yon concern. Pero, given that you will have to fix your system, you could provide a task to them that is not, parang that could help them grow also. So, it's a perfect time to also retrain them, check them if updated pa ba sila sa standard and SOPs. Diba? So, you cannot manage what you do not measure. So it's important to have data kasi if hindi ka nagbibilang, hindi mo alam paano siya i-multiply or i-grow. 'Di ba? So it's very important for you to measure all these things so that kung confident ka na nakikita mo yung data, you could also make decision to expand or scale. Then, business example. So, 2 restaurant owners. So, si owner A, hindi siya nag-inventory. Hindi siya nagtatrack ng inventory niya or mga products niya. So, owner A din, hindi siya nag-sales report. Basta, nagsisend lang siya na, ito yung sales natin. Next is, no expense monitoring. Hindi niya kinakount yung mga ginagastos nila araw-araw. So, after 1 year, confused pa rin siya. And magko-continue moving forward. Diba? Kasi I have met, kasi diba consultant nga ako, may mga nakikilala ko na parang sobrang ganda nung business nila sa outside, pero if you look at the system, hindi pa sila ready mag-expand. 1, 2, or 3 lang yung branch nila. Pero if parang magde-decide na sila to expand, hindi ready yung system nila. Because wala silang data. Or hindi nila kinolek yung data. And it's very important na may data tayo para we could make decisions. Remember last time, diba si Kel, pinakita niya yung percentage. So it's important to you na makita mo na kumikita talaga yung negosyo. Kasi yung gross sales, hindi yun sales lahat. 'Di ba? Very important is mayroon kang net sales. Kasi yun lang yung kailangan pwede mong galawin, hindi yung puhunan. Tama? So si Owner B naman, nagta-track siya ng daily sales. Tapos nagmo-monitor din siya ng inventory. Tapos weekly, meron siyang expenses report. So after 1 year, 'di ba, si Owner B, may clarity siya. Kasi kunyari na-track niya, nagwo-work tong branch na to. So if ganito yung data, so kailangan lang pwede namin siyang i-systemize tapos ulitin namin siya ulit. And yun yung mga dapat target namin kasi nagwo-work siya. 'Di ba? So, meron silang data na they become confident that they could expand and grow the business. So, principle number 4. Hanap na ako matapos. Alright. So, disorder scales problems. So, if your business is messy at 100,000 nakita revenue, it becomes dangerous at 10 million revenue. Tama. So, in case that kumikita ka ng 100,000, yung system nun, kunyari messy doon, imaginein mo kung yun pa rin system mo if 10 million na yung kita mo. At saka for sure, hindi ka kikita ng ganong kalaki din. Parang siguro tsambuhan mo lang yon. Pero kung uulitin mo yon, hindi ka nakikita ng ganun. Bakit? Kasi wala kang sistema. Tsaka possible yung kliyente mo doon madadala. Kasi nga, disorganized ka. Diba? So, growth multiplies existing problems. So, we need to be very careful. We think na kapag isang branch kumikita na siya, already na ako to expand. No. Kasi ma-expand mo ng problema kapag wala kang sistema. So, Bible principle, so Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Diba? So, napakaganda ng verse na to. So, business reality, if you cannot organize a small inventory, if you can organize a small team and a small revenue, diba? So, managing a large operation will overwhelm you. Diba? So, fix the system early. Yan. So, it's really hard kasi. May kwento ko dito. So, nung 22 years old ako, I started a company called Dripty. Tapos, during that time, binata pa ako. So, this is the, parang ito yung unang business ko na lumaki talaga. Pero, hindi ko siya na-foresee na lalaki siya. So, parang for me, parang accidentally lang siya na lumaki. So, what happened nun, parang may nalugi akong restaurant business. Tapos, tinanggap ko na hindi ako para sa negosyo. So, to cut the story short, na-depress ako dun sa business na yon. Then, was talking to God. Sabi ko, Lord, tanggap ko na hindi ako para sa business. Kasi itong unang business ko, hindi siya nag-work. Or nalugi ako, or na-depress ako on that aspect. And I prayed to God that dalhin niya ako dun sa place where I would serve my purpose and I will be happy serving people. So yung next journey ko doon, parang God gave me wisdom or idea to put up parang a school or a training center. So yung background ko po kasi I was employed in Chat Time Philippines. So I was parang pioneer ng Chat Time Philippines. Yung milk tea, sino ba nag-milk tea dito? So during that time, I was 18 years old. Employed ako sa Chat Time. Tapos 5 years ako doon kasi hindi ako nag-college eh. High school lang ako. So after high school, breadwinner na ako. Tapos, doon sa Chat Time, I learned a lot from there. So, parang from pagiging barista to kitchen, pagiging manager, even R&D and expansion. Kami yung nag-expand ng mga branch sa mga malls. Kami yung nagpo-put up nun. So, I really learned a lot from that company. Tapos, after that, naglakas loob ako na magnegosyo. But sadly, nag-fail nga yung restaurant business. During that time, parang we have 5 branch, pero lahat yun nalugi. May isang nag-work, pero dahil nalugi yung 4, nagbabayad siya nung utang nung 4. Kawawa siya kasi siya yung nagwo-work eh. So, happen is, yun nga, we need to close it down. Pero yun nga, nung after that depression, the Lord called me to teach. Kasi 5 years ako sa Chat Time. So kahit nakapikit, kaya kong gumawa ng masarap na milk tea. Kasi 5 taon ako dun eh. Diba? So sobrang expert ako on that aspect. Tapos nakita ko, wala pang nagtuturo ng milk tea business sa Pilipinas. So given na yun yung background ko, I was able to create a system, how to teach, parang yung title ng course ko nun, How to Make Your Milk Tea Business. Ganon yung course ko. Siguro naniningil ako ng 2.5 nun kada estudyante. Tapos alam nyo ba, dahil pioneer ako, after 3 months, I was able to teach over 1,000 students. So that's when I become a millionaire. Pero I was busy teaching during that time. So during that time, dahil tinanggap ko na hindi ako para sa negosyo, tinanggap ko na rin na normal na tao na lang ako at hindi ako magiging mayaman. Pero I was busy helping people, teaching people. Tapos those students are becoming successful. Nakikita ko, nagkaka-branch sila sa SM, tapos sa SM ganito, nagba-branch sila. Sabi ko, wait lang. Ako nagturo dito ba't mas mayaman sila sa akin? Pero I was busy teaching people. Tapos ang saya-saya ko kasi yung pala yung love ko, teaching and helping people. Tapos dumating sa point after 3 months na na parang God told me na hindi sustainable yung ginagawa ko. Kasi one day, lahat na may milk teahan, which happened. So, I'm one of the reason ba't ang daming milk teahan sa Pilipinas because I was the pioneer teaching people to start their milk tea business. And in fact, I become a millionaire teaching milk tea business, di ba? Pero nung nakaipon na ako, I just realized na hindi sustainable yung pagtuturo ko. Bakit? Kasi doon lang ako expert. Lahat, what if, wala na mag-enroll kasi lahat natuto na eh. Kasi alam mo nangyari nun, yung mga video trainings ko, nananakaw, nakikita ko nasa YouTube na, binibenta ko ng 3.5 yung video, nakikita ko binibenta ng iba 199, 100. Ay wow. Diba? Very good. Napapirate na siya. Tapos yung ibang student ko, yung manual, iniba lang nila. Tapos nagturo na rin sila. So nakita ko na if I continue doing this at wala akong binago, I will be doomed. So I just realized na, okay, I need to stop teaching. So I have this idea because I have successful students na nagkaroon ng brand, baka pwede rin ako gawa ng brand. So I created Dripty. Tapos, nangyari nun, sabi ko sa mga, siguro I have waitlist na mga 500 students. Sabi ko sa kanila, hindi na ako nagtuturo. Kung gusto nyong matuto sa akin, mag-franchise kayo ng Dripty. After 6 months, we have 80 branches. 6 months. So, ganun siya ka-crazy. Pero during that time, wala pa akong experience sa pag-negosyo. It just happened that I have influence, tapos naging maganda yung outcome ng pagtuturo ko. So, ayun yung nangyari. Pero ang problem with that business is, dahil wala siyang sistema. So, during that time, siguro we have over 100 branches. During that time, Sir Haylin, best friend ko pa siya, yung wife ko ngayon. Sabi niya, nanakawan ka ng employee mo. Inuutangan ka 50K, 100K, mga ganun. Pero hindi nila binabayaran sa akin. Sobrang bait kong boss before. Tapos na-abuse ako ng mga employee ko. Pero dahil nga hindi ko na goal maging mayaman at successful, tanggap ko na normal na tao lang ako. Parang binabrush off ko lang yun. Hindi, basta mahalaga, family tayo dito, masaya tayo, sabay-sabay tayo magiging successful. Ganun yung mantra ko noon. Natatawa sila doon. Feeling ko nakaka-relate sila. Family tayo dito, tapos ibibetray ka ng employee mo. Ang sakit sa heart. Grabe talaga. Alam ng wife ko yan, how many times na broken-hearted ako sa mga employee namin because I love them so much. Treat ko sila as family, kapatid, gano'n. At eventually, if you're not serving them better, they will leave you. And in fact, they will betray you. Parang some people are so selfish that they don't see the investment and the value that you give to them. Then kapag hindi na yon beneficial sa kanila, they will leave you. You know, and it hurts me so much. But the problem with that is because wala nga akong sistema. So Sir Haylin came in to help me systemize the business. And nung na-systemize namin yon, nagkaroon ng system, nagkaroon ng mga departments, nag-hire siya ng mga tamang tao. That the time na we're able to scale the business. But the problem with that, dahil marami na kaming branches, hindi na namin mababalikan yun. Kapag ginamot namin siya, yung business, it will cost us a lot. Diba? So we decided not to grow it. In transition to put up another company, tapos from the start, kailangan ayusin na namin. So everything is registered, lahat ng tax babayaran namin, ginapang namin na maging minimum yung mga sahod ng employees namin, and pay what is due. So, iginapang talaga namin because we want to have the right company na hindi namin nagawa dun sa previous business namin. And the rest is history. So, yun yung impact kapag naayos yung sistema. So, in fact, yung company namin na Palpitate, it's 4 years, I think. Pero, we must say na medyo mabilis namin na kasi nga napapa-franchise na namin siya. Tapos yung mga kliyente namin, hindi lang sila basta-basta kasi they are able to invest 50 million sa isang coffee shop. So I was asking the Lord, Lord, who am I that you send these people to invest that amount sa isang coffee shop? So parang sobrang crazy. So it was a dream come true for us ni Herlin that we're able to repeat the success no ginawa namin ng dream namin ng coffee shop. Then we're able to copy-paste it sa iba-ibang kliyente. And that's the power of systemization and fixing our organization because we're able to put up the similar business in different parts of the Philippines or even international. So, yeah. So, the last principle is principle number 5. So, order creates scalability. Ito yung sinasabi ko. So, organize business grow faster. That's why you will see businesses na 3 years pa lang sila, they have thousands of branches, ganun. Because na early nilang na-systemize yung business nila or na-organize. Diba? So why? Because system are repeatable. So if you document your system, kunyari, you meet a certain problem in your business, kunyari, kami nun, lagi kaming nananakawan ng pera. Bakit ganun? Kasi yung nagre-release ng pera, nag-account ng pera, tapos nagre-receive ng pera, iisa lang. So, nauna pa siyang mag-create ng system para kumuha ng pera, kaysa ikaw, ayusin mo para yung system para hindi ka manakawan. So, tinuro ni Kelvin na dapat yung magre-receive ng pera, iba yung mag-account ng pera, tapos yung magre-release ng pera, dapat iba-ibang tao yon para they will audit other people. Diba? So, dapat iba-iba yung touch point para magsisilipan sila. So, marami pang problems where you need to think of ano yung naging solution mo at ano yung solution na nag-work for you. Kapag nag-work yon, you must put it into paper. And kailangan maging rule yon. Kaya dapat yung SOP and manual natin kumakapal, nag-update every month. Diba? So, dahil bago si Chat-Time dito sa Pilipinas nung 2012, I was able to see how their system grow. Kasi alam mo ba, every week may bago kaming sistema. Ganon. Kunyari, nagkaroon kami ng complaint, may ipis yung drink. Ganon, viral sa social media. So found out namin na dahil yung lagay ng press namin, yung container, hindi namin sinasara kasi may nakalagay doon na sandok or scooper. So nakaawang lang siya. So ngayon, nung nagkaroon ng ganong issue or problem, nag-create kami ng system. Ano yung system na create namin? So kailangan, i-close na yon, tatanggalin yung sandok, tapos yung sandok nakababad sa tubig. So, ilalagay ulit namin yung sa manual. I-revise namin yung manual. So, ganun dapat palagi. So, kada may problem, may solution. Pero dapat yung solution, hindi lang para, tapos na to, okay na. Dapat you record it. Hanggang sa kumapal yung SOP mo. Kasi one day, if pina-franchise mo yon or nag-expand ka, you will encounter the same problem. And if you don't have that system, matatrap ka na dun. Paulit-ulit ka nang mag-a-answer or mag-solusyon ng problema. So, when system exists, training become faster. So, in fact, kami na really, hindi na kayo pumupunta sa mga training sessions. So, we're able to put up branches in Visayas and Mindanao nang hindi kami nakikita ng kliyente. Because, naibaba namin yung system sa mga tao namin. At hindi kami yung kailangan doon to expand the business. Kasi, yung system, nasa employee. So, even magpalit ng employee, dahil may system in place, okay lang. Gagana yung business, tatakbo yung business. So, mistakes become fewer. Bakit? Kasi yung sinabi ko kanina, kada maliliit na problema, nagkakaroon ng solusyon, tapos nalalagay siya sa SOP. Diba? Then expansions become possible. Diba? Kasi it's an opportunity. Ako, naniniwala ako na there are more people closest down this crisis. Pero ako naniniwala na it's opportunity to expand as long as you track your data. Kasi everyone is in fear diba, to expand. Pero I think it's opportunity to position. Kasi ang daming magagandang available locations ngayon na kapag bumalik yung normal, nakapwesto ka na ng maayos. Or even the deal is lower because walang mga umuupa, mura yung upa. So you just need to measure lang. If you have extra, those are the things that you could parang think. Parang instead of worrying and having fear, see of the opportunity. Kasi it's similar to pandemic, there's a lot of businesses thrive and maraming bagong negosyanteng umusbong during pandemic. And ako, I was like looking sino yung mga newcomer with this crisis? Sino yung mga newcomer na entrepreneur? Ano yung character nila? Ano yung bago sa kanila? And we must learn from them also. So, wait lang. System turn chaos into clarity. So, Bible principle, Ecclesiastes 3:1. So, there is a time for everything. Diba? So, structure creates rhythm, and rhythm enables growth. So, if you think that yung opportunity na yun hindi pa ngayon, you can create that by preparing yourself for that opportunity. Diba? Maybe you keep attending business talk and relationship talk para habang wala pa yung binibigay ni Lord na break, parang you're telling to the Lord na, Lord, I'm preparing myself for that break. Diba? And if yung opportunity na nandyan na, qualified ako to get that. Kasi prepare ko yung sarili ko doon. And kapag binigay yun sa'yo ni Lord, you're capable of pulling it off because you're ready. Diba? So alam mo ba, I have parang a story with this na during that time when I was employed in Chat Time, yearly nagtatanong ako kay Lord na, Lord, hanggang dito na lang ba ako? Paulit-ulit na lang yung ginagawa ko. Kasi siguro mga nakadami na akong milk tea na ginagawa. Tapos paulit-ulit yun for 5 years. Siyempre, nako-question ko rin sarili ko na I also have the opportunity na lumipat ng Starbucks or ibang coffee shop. Pero I just realized na kapag pumunta ako ng Starbucks, after 5 years, ganun din yung isipin ko. Mapapamiliarize ako doon sa company, tsaka sa system and process noon. Tapos, lilipat ulit ako sa company. Nagigets nyo? Paulit-ulit lang siya. It's a loop. Kaya during yung Chat Time days, I was thinking of what are the things that I could do para maiba. So I was praying to God, Lord, if ito yung para sa akin, I would gladly accept and gratefully accept it na barista ako sa Chat Time. But please give me joy if para dito ako. Pero if not, show me the way. So I have the opportunity to put up business, hindi nga nag-work, pero eventually, God led me to something better. Diba? So, there's always time for everything. Pero I just realized na if hindi ako nagtrabaho sa Chat Time for 5 years, I was not able to achieve the first million that I have. And I was not able to teach 1,000 plus students to how to establish their milk tea business. And during that time, up until now, I see many millionaires doon sa mga naging student ko before at thriving ang business nila. And I was so happy kasi I was still connected with them. In fact, some of them are mas successful pa sa amin. Diba? Pero I was celebrating with them. Diba? It means that I was used by God to make an impact to them. Ibig sabihin, I was serving my purpose and I was really, really happy and celebrate their success. So, structure creates rhythm and rhythm enables growth. Diba? So, kingdom business reality. So God designed creation with systems, seasons, cycle, pattern, structure. If our businesses reflects God, they should reflect order. Diba? So if you think God gave you that business idea, the same God will give you customers, resources, funds, right people. But you have to be a good steward. We must to be a good steward. We must take care of the business, and part of that is creating order. Diba? Kasi we are Christ-like Kung maayos si Lord, dapat maayos din tayo. Hindi tayo bara-bara. We must think of how can we able give more quality and value towards my customer and to my people and everything that God entrusted you. So, order in business. So, healthy businesses organize finances, operations, leadership, communication, and strategy. Messy businesses struggle, organized businesses skills. So, if we organize the business, we could really, really scale it limitless. Diba? Sabi nga ni Boss K, yung pinaka-favorite ko na topic sa business talk is yung expand globally. Dapat we don't think of, Pilipinas lang, or Luzon lang, or Visayas lang, or Mindanao. So when I met Boss K, tapos tinuturo niya yun, I was like bound to, kasi na ano ko na yung, nationwide kasi we have branches besides Mindanao. Karang sisiw na sa amin yun. Pero yung globally, hindi ko pa radar yun. Tapos my wife kept telling me na, sabi ni Boss K, we should expand globally. So, yun nga, we're praying that we're able to also expand globally, hopefully, and praying. And if wala pa yung opportunity na yun, we need to prepare ourselves. Diba? So, yeah. So, final truth. Chaos creates stress. Order creates progress. A messy business may survive, but an organized business multiplies. So if struggling ka pa rin to multiply your business, ibig sabihin hindi pa enough yung pag-fix mo sa mga system mo and process mo. And starting by tomorrow, kahit Holy Week pa, list down some of departments or system or processes that you need to revisit and put system. Madali na lang ngayon kasi may ChatGPT na. Pero guys, ang pinaka-defining factor na lang ngayon ay kung paano mo ini-apply. Diba? Sorry, time na ata ako. Unti na lang po. Reflection question. So ask yourself, where is my business messy? Saan? Sa operations ba? Sa finances ba? Communication? Staff roles? So what system do I need to build next? So ito lang. Tapos yun, one problem, one department at a time. I suggest, ayusin nyo yung pinaka-malalang apoy. Yung pinaka-burden, pinaka-bottleneck. Tapos, ask your staff or organization na magtulong-tulong na unang ayusin yon. Kasi if you keep firefighting with the small problems, hindi talaga magagamot yung buong organization. So you must talk with your team na pinaka-ayusin nyo yung pinaka-burden nyo at kailangan matapos muna yon. Then, after that, saka nyong ayusin yung iba. So, declaration. Can we declare this all? Basahin natin lahat. So, 1, 2, 3, go. I build with order. I create systems. I manage with wisdom. My business is organized. My processes are clear. My operations are structured. Order brings peace. Order brings growth. In Jesus' name, amen. So, thank you and God bless everyone.